Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be covering the campaign trail. It's going to basically simulate an election campaign. I'm going to run in the year 2016 with our great candidate Donald John Trump. We can pick between Crooked Hillary or Donald. I'm going to pick the God Emperor. We're going to pick a running mate of between Mike Pence, Chris Christie, Jeff Sessions, Ben Carlson, and Sarah Palin. I would probably say that the best pick here would be Ben Carlson because he's black. That's literally it. And I want to diversify from the actual election a little bit. I want to be the electoral votes to be winner take all, of course, and I want the difficult level to be normal because I'm not a pleb. Okay, so this is the beginnings of everything, right? Let's zoom in, of course. Maybe not this much. Your use of Twitter has garnered outsized attention in your run for the Republican nomination, but some advisors are leery of your erratic tendencies on that site. How will you proceed? Okay, so there's three options here. Okay, so we can go with the option saying, these are some people who said my campaign was hopeless and they gave me terrible advice for the last year and a half. Not too smart. My Trump impression's terrible. Sorry. In the next one. In this day and age, you got to use the social media. You got to... Now, I think we can all agree that the general election is different from the primary, so I might tone it down a little on some things, but you got to use the social media. I'm best at this is the best thing that's happened to CNN since the Gulf War. If I stop tweeting for a couple of weeks, they'll run a story about me every hour asking why. So, you could either say... So don't tone it down or do tone it down is basically the two viable questions, and I think we should not tone it down. Did Trump really tone it down? I don't think so. Advisor feedback, we have on the left Steve Bannon and on the right Robbie Mook, who was the chief campaign manager for Hillary, and then Steve Bannon was for Trump. More tweets and more pearl clutching from the media. Maybe you know something they don't. Okay, that's true. There was a mass shooting at a gay nightclub in Orlando overnight, perpetrated by a Muslim, killing 50 people. What is your reaction? Okay, there's four choices here. What happened in Orlando last night was a terrible tragedy, and our thoughts and prayers go out with everyone affected. The second one is, around the world we have Islamic terror striking at innocent lives, while the Democrats do nothing. If this attack on the LGBT community, this vicious attack, isn't enough to make them wake up, then what is? Okay, that's number 3. Now starting. First of all, our hearts and prayers really go out to everyone affected by the shooting, and particularly the victims. But it would be a real tragedy if we use this incident as an excuse to restrict our constitutional rights. Number 4 is, appreciate the congrats for being right on radical Islamic terrorism. I don't want congrats. I want toughness and vigilance. We must be smart. So already, number 1 is going to be the safe option. You're just saying what happened was bad and you're not discriminating against the Muslims. The second one is basically going against the Democrats and foiling them and saying, hey, look, the Muslims killed the gays. Aren't you pro-gay? Why are you letting the Muslims kill the gays, man? So that's one way. And then third is also the libertarian answer, which is stupid. And the fourth is basically being very brash and arrogant about it, and the way this is worded is retarded. So it's either one or two. Either you pick it safe, or you say, hey, the Democrats, you're pro-gay. What's wrong with you? I'm gonna pick the safe option because you're not gonna win any gays over with your messaging anyway. This is safe, standard response to such events. Yeah, obviously. As you can see, these are the estimated support. We are almost neck and neck. And then we're going state to state, of course. Right now, there's a lot of different places in the campaign trail that we want to visit to. And I think that we should visit Florida. Let's go. The next question is, the FBI director has handed down a severe criticism of Clinton's email practices while Secretary of State. Though he declined to recommend any indictments, do you have any comment? Number 1, the investigation by our so-called FBI was a farce. to begin with. How can someone destroy massive amounts of evidence in the midst of a federal investigation and not be charged? Second, I am deeply concerned about the whole episode, but we don't know whether or not it was a crime. But you can be sure that a Trump administration would look into it some more. Then number 3, I have the utmost respect for James Comey and our terrific agents in the FBI. It seems that Hillary might have gotten lucky on this one. Okay, so number 1, this is her basically saying this is BS. The FBI is the deep state. Hillary got away with the farce or whatever, which was true, and this is what Trump did, and he won. Number 2 is I am deeply concerned, and I'm going to vaguely say that I'm going to look into it, which is nothing. That's a nothing burger. And then 3 is basically letting Hillary get away with it. So I'm doing the first one. It may not be a bad idea to keep hammering away at Hillary. It could help you make this contest about who is more unpopular. Yeah, good. What was your rationale behind selecting Ben Carson as your running mate? Number 1, we're out here to show that we understand what it's going to take to fix Black America and open our great prosperity to all Americans. And it could be a wonderful thing if we get to know Ben Carson and being in the right place to make a difference. Number 2, Ben Carson is one of the most terrific choices that we have come up with. He's another one of the outstanding figures we have to get some traction in the race, and he'll unite our supporters accordingly. I think the second one, I don't want to bring race up to it. Behind the scenes, those have their doubts about having 2 outsiders on the ticket. Hey, that's a good point, but he's black, so that'll give me cover. Now, again, I don't expect getting any more than like another 2 to 5% of the black vote, so that doesn't matter. But what does matter is what the establishment thinks. And Ben Carson, even though he might be an outsider, he's black, so the conservative establishment will have to shut up or look racist. Now, right now, Florida is tied. Michigan is within 3, as is Wisconsin. Minnesota's 4. Arizona's 3 for Trump. Pennsylvania's big. We're going to Pennsylvania. What will your message be as you accept the Republican nomination for president on national television? I am the true conservative when it comes to gun rights, abortion, taxes, and many issues. It would be terrible if we let the left-wing media divide us in the face of Hillary Clinton. That's number 1. Number 2 is I will compare and contrast my stellar business record with the corruption and incompetence of Hillary Clinton and remind voters of my views on Obamacare, tax cuts, and immigration. We are going to make America great again. Number 3, I am self-funding and independent from special interest. Hillary has taken money from Goldman Sachs, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and many large donors within the U.S. Who do you trust? 4, the leadership of this country has been a disaster, and because of this, many lies have been spread about me, and I'm the one who can fix problems on trade, ISIS, Obamacare, with many other issues. All right. This is a hard one. Number 1 is basically saying, don't hate on me, vote Republican. Number 2 is we're going to make America great again. Number 3 is I'm the outsider. Number 4 is I'm the one who I'm smeared, but it's unfair, and I'm going to fix things. I'm going to go with the Make America Great Again type of rhetoric. Mentioning Hillary Clinton is always a good way to unify the party. It's true. In the wake of your nomination, and a few anti-Trump conservatives are organizing to cast votes for Evan McMullin as a protest with an emphasis on the western states. What are your thoughts? Number 1, Evan who? Have you seen this guy? I'm not too worried. Number 2, Hillary Clinton deleted 32,000 emails under House subpoena, along with many other crimes. When people see that I'm the only one who can defeat crooked Hillary, they will reject this nonsense. Number 3, we have some strong statements to make on foreign policy, on federal judges, and on religious freedom and taxes. I think we're going to win and show people that I'm serious. I'm going to say Evan who cares? Your flippant attitude is an asset at times, but many conservatives have legitimate worries about your candidacy. All right. So Florida is 4 points for Hillary. We are winning Georgia. We are winning Arizona. We are 1 away from North Carolina. We are 4 away from Pennsylvania. We are 3 away from Wisconsin. We are 4 away from Wisconsin, and 3 away from Michigan. And we are 4 away in Iowa, which makes no sense. Yeah. Which one should I go to? Pennsylvania is the most important. So let's visit this one next. All right. There's been a violent terrorist attack on Nietzsche today. resulting in the deaths of about 100 people. How will you address this? Number one, as president, in spite of what people in the liberal media will say, I will work closely with our foreign allies in the issue of importance. Together we will unite against and defeat radical Islamic terror. Second, my heart goes out to the fantastic and resilient people of France. It is one of those most beautiful countries as they deal with the unspeakable tragedy. Number three, another horrific attack, this time in Nice, France. Many dead and injured. When will we learn? It's only going to get worse. Alright, I'm going to do number one. Because being strong against Islamic terrorism is just common sense. You probably shouldn't say it out loud, but such attacks aren't the worst thing for the campaign given how you have spoken about this issue. In light of scathing and unrestrained jeremiads against Ben Carson before the Iowa caucus, what makes you think now that he is a good running mate? Okay, number one, we all say things in the heat of the moment that we might not mean later. You do it, I do it. Hillary Clinton has done it 1,000 times. I was passionate about winning, and I make no apologies. Number two, I never attacked the character of Ben Carson. I have no idea where you people in the media get this stuff. He's going to make a terrific vice president. I predict that his face will one day be on the Mount Rushmore of vice presidents. I'm going to do the second one. Because playing down being a hypocrite is dumb for Trump because he's not being the decent candidate. He's being the outsider. So let's just reinforce that Ben Carson's going to be a good vice president. Oh, wow. The opponents did not like it. Oh, that's not a good sign. But apparently Nevada has gotten closer. Arizona is okay. Texas has gotten closer, but that's okay. Whatever. Florida, Pennsylvania is not doing any better, unfortunately. I think going to Michigan is going to be a good place to go. They're virtually moderate on everything, but they're protectionist on trade. Many have started taking a look at Ben Carson's past statements. Do you agree with his comparisons of Obamacare to slavery? Number one, Obamacare is the biggest disaster in history of the United States, at least in the last 100 years. Dr. Carson and myself, he's a medical doctor, we might use different words to mean the same thing. Number two, whatever you want to say about Obamacare, it won't be for long when I'm president, believe me. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, that disaster so fast, it's truly going to be something. Number three, Obamacare is not slavery, period. But one thing that's very unfair with the media is that they will go there and through a 3-hour speech and ignore the whole speech and use one phrase in that hit piece. And who knows if they even meant it or if he was tired after a long day. So, yeah, no, exactly. So let's go back and let's pick the first one. Just keep being aggressive, right? Like how he did in the actual campaign. Many accuse your heated rhetoric of fueling violence at the rallies, which has been known for their protesters and altercations. What are your thoughts? Number one, I barely said a word. Now, if the Democrats and their friends in the media want to rig the election with fake polls and massive voter fraud, they will look like they wanted to incite some violence. Second, this is a total overreaction as usual. And how about the fact that the Democrats were sending fake protesters to my rallies to get these headlines in the first place? Number three, Hillary Clinton would be a disaster for this country. Her husband signed NAFTA, and now she wants to open markets and many other things. Number four, this is very hard for me. Really, it's not something I usually do. I'm very against it, but this one time I'm going to apologize for what I said a couple of times. Emotions were heated, and I may have helped push a couple people's over the line. So the fourth one is completely out of consideration. That's completely retarded. Number three, this is a non sequitur. Number two, fake protesters. Is that really a important thing? Number one, fake polls. That's stupid. I'll just go for two. That's not too good. Some think that you've gone a little too far with the comments, but as usual, your supporters are fired up. Okay, that's all I need really. So Florida's gotten a lot closer. North Carolina's really close. Arizona is good for us. Pennsylvania's closer. Michigan is closer. Wisconsin is closer. Minnesota is closer. Now I'm not even going to try Minnesota because we lost it anyway. So I'm going to play it safe a little bit in terms of electoral college. Do you plan to promise further tax cuts as you hit the campaign trail? Number one. We are going to pass the greatest tax cut in history. When I'm president, you can count on it. And we're going to fix the mess that Obama has left us with this terrible economy. Number 2, I want us to pass a gigantic tax cut for the middle and working class. That's where the focus should be. We've got to get everyday Americans spending again to make this country great. 3, I want us to look into increasing the child tax credit and closing some loopholes from the banks and the Wall Street and so on. We have so many good things, and we're right on message for the American people. And number 4, I promise no cuts to Social Security and Medicare, and we're going to repeal and replace the Obamacare disaster. You should see how many people cheer when I talk about that. So I'm going to do with the big tax cut for the middle class. That's obviously going to be popular. Yeah, okay. In a hearing today, a New York judge has set up a trial date for the Trump University lawsuit in December of this year. Do you have any comment? Number 1, this is a minor civil case pursued from a few disgruntled people for political purposes, many of which were satisfied at Trump University. Number 2, some people under me put the scheme together, and when I found it, I fired them. Simple as that. This is the whole thing of the media trying to set up a false equivalency between me and crooked Hillary. Number 3, where's Hillary Clinton apology for the email server for the war in Iraq, the dead ambassador in Benghazi, the Goldman Sachs speeches, and so many other things of importance? So the third one's a non sequitur and won't work. The second one is a lie, and the first one makes sense. So we're going with this one. Trump University is a liability. It's probably best to change the subject as quickly as possible. That is true. That is true. We're only winning by 1 in Georgia. What the hell? Minnesota is definitely in the Clinton sector now. You're going to go one more time to, I believe, the state of North Carolina, which is pretty conservative and then moderate on other issues. So what do you have to say to conservatives that doubt your commitment to their cause in this election? Do you have any gestures to make? Number 1, I think you've seen with my running mate that I take the Republican Party very seriously, and believe me, I want us to win in November and prevent a complete disaster under Hillary Clinton. Number 2, it's pathetic how losers like Ted Cruz and Jeb Bush, these guys couldn't even get 10% of the vote, and now they're the judge and jury. Sad. 3, there's a list of 20 federal judges that I will promise to make appointments from. If that will make Ted Cruz endorse me, it seems like a small price to pay. 4, I've been misrepresented a lot. It's actually funny. I've been a conservative person. A lot of people have known that from the start. So the fourth one is a lie. The third one seems petty. The second one is really stupid for, the conservative movement, for the infighting. So late on to the election, and the number 1 is the safe one. It's a good start at least, yeah, see? How do you plan to address Obamacare as you campaign? Number 1, we need to be talking more about the massive infrastructure bill and putting our factory workers and our coal miners back to work. That's popular. That's a good one. Number 2, we're going to repeal and replace Obamacare under my administration, and under my new plan, people are going to get unbelievable health care like they've never seen before. Number 3, Obamacare is one of the biggest disasters in the history of the United States, and we're going to totally repeal the monstrosity and let the free enterprise fix our healthcare system. Number 4, Obamacare's disastrous management has driven the program into the ground. Now we're going to stop the rate increases and the disaster stories and people being turned away from the healthcare they deserve. I think the fourth one is like the most popular with the most states. It's not quite clear on what you mean, but it doesn't seem to be an attack on the program itself. Damn it. Oh, well, Virginia trended blue, but who cares? North Carolina stayed the same, unfortunately. Florida is for Clinton. Damn. Okay, we're going back to Michigan. Okay. To what extent would you attack Bill Clinton's history of infidelity, impeachment, and so on as you campaign? Number 1, I'm really hoping to keep this campaign focused on the issues, but if Hillary wants to use the war on women nonsense, I reserve the right to call her out on it, along with Bill. 2, over the years, I've been tremendous friends with the Clintons. I really have. While they may have been a disaster for the country, I don't want to get into their messy personal stuff. 3, Bill Clinton's a sick man, and his people, including Hillary, have silenced a number of women over the years who tried to speak out. Number 4, we need a focus on substantive issues like Obama's attack on religious freedom and free speech. There's plenty of people digging up dirt on the Clintons. So I think the third one's the most appropriate. This is what he did. Yeah, basically saying that they're sick people, that they're corrupt, helped. The Clintons are always good for plenty of tabloid fodder, as are you. Okay. What is your position on gun control? We are incredibly pro Second Amendment, and it'll definitely be a factor I'll consider as in making appointments, with judges and so on. Two, I'm going to be incredibly strong on the Second Amendment. If you look at Hillary, she's very obviously someone who hates guns, and I'm just speaking facts here, but we're going to make guns even more legal. Number three, I've seen some of the catastrophes we've had, and maybe something like a better background system would help. With reason, for read my lips, there will be no new anti-gun legislation as I'm president. Okay. So, first one, we'll get the conservatives. The second, sounds stupid in the wording. Three is gay. Compromise, not good. Read my lips. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's between 1 and 2. Guns more legal. That last phrase kills it for me. I'm picking the first one. The advisors say you're sounding like a true Republican on the Second Amendment. That's a good thing. Okay. Florida's extremely close. North Carolina's close. Georgia's a win. Arizona's a win. Clinton is winning in Nevada. Don't care. Minnesota is not close enough. Michigan is really close. Pennsylvania is really close. So we're going to go to the great state of Florida. Okay. Will you stand by your calls to keep all Muslims from entering the United States? Number one, we're going to have a team of fantastic individuals to look at the issue for the first state I'm president. I would hate for it, but we wouldn't take a Muslim ban off the table. That's a stupid thing. Two, the media totally leaves out the part where I said we should make the ban temporary until we can figure out what's going on. But they want to paint me as some side of bigot to further their liberal agenda for America. Number three, ISIS and radical Islamic terrorism is the greatest threat to our wonderful nation. I will mercilessly combat radical Islam the first day in office, including a Muslim ban. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm sure the fake news media will be very interested when I win the election in November. Fourth is off the table. First is off the table. Okay, should I go full on for the Muslim ban? I don't know. So a lot of people hit him, even on the right wing, about that. I think the second one, the more nuanced one, no matter how you frame it, you are definitely moderating your position on this issue. Some even discuss a pivot again. Okay, to what extent will you attack Hillary Clinton's 2002 vote to authorize the war in Iraq? The invasion was one of the biggest disasters in American history, and we're going to dredge up a lot of memories about this before the campaign is through. Number two, you better believe under my administration we are going to be focusing on America first and not these idiotic wars and trade deals. Do you think Hillary Clinton feels the same way? Three, Hillary Clinton says I'm unqualified to be president, so what has gone in her brain when she voted for Iraq? The political establishment on both sides were dead wrong on Iraq, and now we have ISIS and the candidate who will destroy ISIS and radical Islamic terrorism. So, we're going to focus on America first. Let's just do that one. I think it'll be good for the Midwest. Okay. Let's check next. Florida's tied. North Carolina, I'm winning bigly. That's awesome. Pennsylvania's tied. Ohio's solidly in our side here. Michigan is tied. Wisconsin is on our side. Trump is winning in Minnesota. Arizona strong. Okay. Let's see, because if I want to go aggressive, I can win Minnesota, but I don't think that's a good idea, honestly. I don't want to risk it. So let's keep putting our eggs into Pennsylvania. Okay. While attending a 9/11 memorial today, Hillary Clinton was caught on video going limp and being carried into in a van, apparently for medical attention. Do you have any comment? Number one, the most important thing right now is that we remember our heroes from 9/11, and I will be making a number of campaign stops in the next few days where I mention our veterans and our heroes. Two, in spite of everything, I hate to see something like this. She was at my wedding. A lot of people forget about that, but I will never want to see her undergo physical harm. I wish Hillary a speedy recovery, and I send her my thoughts. Three, there are some very serious questions about her stamina. And another thing, her people lied about this whole incident until that video came out. Notice how Hillary was barely campaigning at all in the last couple weeks. So since I am kind of winning right now, I want to play it safe, which means then that I will go for the first one. I'm playing it safe here. Hillary has been forced to take a lighter campaign schedule at the same time that her basket of deplorables comment is going viral. Not a bad series of events for you. Yep. Okay, do you plan to participate in 3 traditional debates between you and Hillary Clinton? Number 1, believe me, I can't wait to debate Hillary Clinton. Believe me. 2nd, I can't wait to debate Hillary Clinton. What's the difference here? 3, the moderators ganged up on John McCain. They ganged up on Mitt Romney. I don't understand why Republicans keep going up there to let some hack from MSNBC browbeat them in front of 50 million people. 4, I can't wait to debate Hillary Clinton. I'll just debate her. Pundits agree that Hillary Clinton was much better prepared than you, but your emotions are so high it's not clear whether it matters. Okay, well, Arizona's still good. Nevada got closer. Who cares? The New Mexico and Nevada don't matter to me. Texas is on our side. Florida is tied. Georgia's not going to matter. North Carolina's going for us. Pennsylvania's tied. Michigan is for us. Wisconsin is tied. Let's go to Wisconsin. A video surfaced of you describing how you tried to seduce a married woman and how you generally kiss women and grab them by their private. 14 women have also stepped forward to accuse you of assault. What is your response? I said some things in private conversation that I shouldn't have, but I think that what's at stake in this election, and I think that all the times that Hillary Clinton helps her husbands abuse and silence women. 2nd, it's not often that I feel shame. People who know me can agree, but I'm very sorry that I acted in that situation, and we can allow one ill-advised conversation to derail the future of the United States. 3, the outrage is an elitist conspiracy to undermine my chances in my final days in the race. NBC has been sitting on this video for 11 years. It almost reminds you of what they did to Bush in 2000. Now, I don't remember what happened to Bush in 2000 about this whole old clip anyway, so we're just going to go for number 1. There's not much you can do but apologize and deflect, but polls are definitely swinging towards Hillary Clinton in the aftermath of the video. Yikes. An leaked transcript from WikiLeaks shows that Clinton campaign working with members of the DNC to collaborate against the campaign of Bernie Sanders in subtle but definite ways, such as sharing of some of the debate questions before a primary debate. How do you respond? This just shows how terrified the DNC and the political establishment are of substantive change in the system. I am an outsider candidate who will fix Washington and drain the swamp. 2, if you're a Bernie supporter, you should be outraged by the manipulation of the democratic process. It looks like the fix was in for crooked Hillary from day one. 3, I'm preparing for a severe criticism of Russia as we speak. I am very, very strong criticism, I think you will agree, for seeking to divide us in a nation by releasing this information about Hillary and her political tricks. So the 3rd is basically helping Hillary. That's retarded. Number 2 is trying to get Bernie voters. Number 1, it's to say you're an outsider. So I'm just going to say the outsider. I don't know how much the Bernie vote will matter. Keep pressing your outsider credentials and promising reform. Yeah. Okay. So we are losing Florida. God dang it. We are winning Utah, but there's some Mormon guy there. Arizona's close. Nevada's not even worth it. Minnesota's not even worth it. Wisconsin is tied. Michigan is almost tied. Pennsylvania is almost tied. Yeah, okay. We have to go to Florida. A leaked transcript from WikiLeaks shows that Hillary Clinton said in a closed-door speech at Goldman Sachs that she is center left, center right, and that she supports open trade and open borders. How do you respond? Number 1, as usual, Hillary has been caught in lies. For all we know, this is just the beginning. Do you want a president that, and then a month after they're elected, find out that they've been blackmailed by Russia or China? That's ironic. Number 2, no wonder she was working so hard to cheat Bernie Sanders out of the nomination. She's the Goldman Sachs candidate, folks, plain and simple. Number 3, if it is really true that Russia collaborated to release the information about Hillary's private speeches to Goldman Sachs, then I totally disavow and denounce the illegal leaks. 4, they keep saying Russia, Russia, Russia. I've heard other people say it was an inside job from a DNC whistleblower. You know, the guy that was assassinated or something like that. Strange. So number 4 is stupid. Number 3 is dumb. It helps Hillary. So we can either go for the Russia angle against Hillary, but that's hypocritical coming from Trump. And then number 2, I guess we have to go for the Bernie Sanders thing and Trump being the populist. keeping pressing your outsider credentials and trying Hillary to Goldman Sachs, Saudi Arabia, and so on. Yeah, okay, that's recommended. James Comey, FBI director, has made a late announcement that the additional emails have surfaced in Hillary Clinton's case thanks to an investigation into Anthony Weiner. What are your thoughts? 1. From the start, it's incredible that Hillary Clinton was even allowed to run. We're just fortunate that the news came out before the election. Can you imagine? 2. I don't want to speculate on what kind of incriminating new evidence might be in these emails, but I want to focus on making our country great again. The first one's going to Hillary again. Polls are swinging your way a bit after the aftermath of the announcement. Could this be the break that gets you over the hump? Okay. Florida's tied. Okay, we regained the advantage in Arizona. We're winning North Carolina bigly. Pennsylvania tied. Michigan tied. Well, almost. Okay, Michigan's next. Where will you spend the final day of your campaign? Number 1, the pundits might say this is crazy, but we're going to Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. I think I can do 4, maybe 5 in one rally in one day, maybe 6. 2, we're going to make tremendous rallies in Nevada and Colorado, some truly unbelievable rallies. Number 3, I love our military. We're going to do a gigantic rally in Pensacola, Florida. We're going to win Florida on Election Day. 4, let's not complicate it too much. The election pivots around Pennsylvania. We'll be spending the morning in Pittsburgh, in the evening in Scranton. We're going to do the final blitz through 4 states. That's epic. Everyone who saw it agrees that your final rally was an epic sight to behold. Okay. Election night has arrived. Settle in and wait for the returns. However, it may take long. Best of luck. Okay, so we're going to wait for our results. As you can see, Kentucky has gone Republican. I'm like 55% sure we're going to win this. It's razor-thin margins again, which is kind of like 2016. Just that with hindsight, I kind of know what I'm doing, which makes it all the more amazing that Trump managed to win in the first place, right? Wow. So I do need to win Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin, or I'm kind of screwed. Now, I am betting on winning Arizona, of course, and North Carolina and Florida, or else I'm probably almost definitely going to lose. So far, no state has surprised me. Ohio, which was contested in 2012, has gone solidly for me. That's a good thing. Yeah, so we're doing good. We won by 10% in Ohio. We won by 3.8% in North Carolina. That's good. We're keeping up with all the numbers we should. Arizona has gone, what is that, 5% for me? That's awesome. Okay, Indiana, Montana, whatever. Yeah, Mike Pence seemed to not help me there. Oh, Michigan went red. Okay, nearly by a 1.5%. Wisconsin has gone red by almost 2%. Minnesota has gone blue by 1.7%. Johnson's getting a ton of the votes, by the way. Nevada has seemed to have gone to Hillary solidly. Virginia went solid, pretty much. Pennsylvania is super close. So I'm probably gonna win. Congratulations, you won this year's election. Yes, let's fucking go. All right. Click OK to view the rest of the returns or skip right to the final returns. We hope that you will have a victory speech. Okay, this is awesome. This is awesome. I actually went, Pennsylvania went blue? What? By 0.2%. Okay, well, that was a close one, guys. That was really close. Narrower than in 2016, but apparently me picking Ben Carson saved my ass, okay? I did just fine. Let's go to the final results, and as they're processing, I just gotta thank you for getting all the way to the end of the video, basically. We're over half an hour in. I did not think it would take this long, but that is that. I mean, there you go. You have won the 2016 election. In spite of a hard-fought challenge from Hillary Clinton, you've shocked the world. Bing, bing, bong. Bing, bing, bong. Let's fucking go. Thank you guys for watching. Make America great again. We're going to make America great again. Vote for Trump in 2020 because he has won in 2016. I have won in 2016. So subscribe if you've gotten to the end. If you comment down below that you've gotten to the end, I will pin your comment. Thank you. Bye.